This is Boxing Talk 8576. I want to come at you with this classic who won matchup between Phoenix Tito Trinidad versus Oscar De La Hoya. They fought in 1999. This fight was built as the fight of the Millennium. Both guys were undefeated. Both guys, they were welterweight champions. De La Hoya was the WBC welterweight champion. Trinidad was the IBF welterweight champion. These guys were, I think they were around about the same age. I think they were both like 26, 27, so they was in their prime and like a nice time for two fighters to fight. They both dominated, De La Hoya dominated the WBC side. Trinidad dominated the IBF side with knockouts and nice, domination fashion by Trinidad and nice boxing displays and knockouts by Oscar De La Hoya. This fight, Oscar came in with a game plan of movement because he knew that Trinidad, had devastating power in both hands. So De La Hoya had a game plan. Him in his corner had a game plan that he moved and boxed, not get into like a slugfest or toe-to-toe battle. In the first half of the fight, particularly the first half of the fight, I thought De La Hoya boxed beautifully. I thought he was moving around in the ring effectively. He had Trinidad follow him around. Trinidad was trying to land, hard shots, which to me it put him behind the eight ball because by De La Hoya moving so well, he seen that Trinidad was loading up and he would just throw jabs before he throw a combination or before he throw a right hand. And that's another thing. His jab was the probably the most consistent punch in the whole fight between both fighters. It was Oscar De La Hoya jab it set up everything. It made Trinidad reset. It helped De La Hoya turn him left and right. I do like fighters like Trinidad that come forward. Both of these guys are boxer punchers. They just do it in different ways. I do like fighters that come forward. Trinidad was coming forward. Oscar wasn't running because I don't like runners. Well, he kept the fight for the most part in the center of the ring. And to be honest with you, Oscar De La Hoya outlanded Trinidad by almost 200 punches. He outlanded him 648 to 462. So you can say Trinidad was making the fight, but how effective was he at making the fight? And by De La Hoya outlanding him almost by 200 punches, he did not do what he was trying to do effective enough to win the fight, in my opinion. And in most of the rounds, De La Hoya outthrew him and outlanded him. It was only a few rounds in there, particularly like the last 3 rounds in that first round, where I had Trinidad where he outthrew and outlanded De La Hoya. But for the most part, majority of the rounds, De La Hoya outlanded and outthrew. The power punch is an eye-opener because the power punch is not that far from each other. De La Hoya landed 124 to Trinidad 120. But De La Hoya landed a slew, like 100 jabs. And they wasn't soft, pity-pat, get away from me jabs. He was knocking Trinidad's head back. You could see his head snapping back. If you go back and look at the fight, I urge people to go back and look at the fight, you can see his head was snapping back. So that was an authoritative jab. Very effective. It, like I said, it kept Trinidad off balance. He was doubling it sometimes. Trinidad had spots in the fight, but when I look at a fight, particularly between two good fighters, I have to see what you do in the ring that was really effective to help you either win the fight or stay in the fight or what make the fight competitive. It was nothing that Trinidad did where I can key on and say he's doing that really good. And it wasn't a whole lot that he was doing well. I mean, he'll catch De La Hoya with some right hands and, left hooks in spots. But Trinidad, to me, he lost the fight because he should have been using, if he seen that De La Hoya was going to move like that, he He should have cut off the ring better. That was one. He didn't cut off the ring. He was following De La Hoya around from round 2 on. He was following De La Hoya around. He should have used his jab more, and he should have went to the body. He did not use his jab enough, and he didn't go to the body enough. Because if a guy's gonna move like that, you need to go to the body to slow him down for the later rounds. De La Hoya was able to move from round 1 to round 12 all the way through the fight. A fighter should not, if you're doing your job and going to his body effectively, he should not be able to move that effectively from round 1 to round 12 and look fresh in doing it every single round. So Trinidad lost the fight on that one end right there. That's one point where he lost the fight. The second one, he was loading up, and he was so tense that he wanted to knock De La Hoya head off so bad. He was tense, and De La Hoya can see it, and he was just popping a jab. Because if the guy gonna follow you around, he gonna run into the punches. So he was just throwing a jab, landing combinations. The combination punches went to De La Hoya. De La Hoya had the better jab. De La Hoya had the better right hand. Left hook, I'm going to get that to Trinidad. I thought Trinidad had the better left hook. But De La Hoya had the better jab, the better uppercut, the better body punches. Because when he was doing combinations to the body. He would start some of his combinations to the body. So I don't see in this fight where people say De La Hoya. I know some people say De La Hoya lost. And, being on the on the phone with some of the guys I talked to, me and Zone, we had a difference of opinion on who won the fight. I don't know about 78 or the other guys I had on the phone, but I remember me and Zone, because we talk about it all the time, that he thought Trinidad won. But I have to ask people, what did Trinidad do effectively how can you break it down and say Trinidad won because it is this and this? I could say De La Hoya won because, for one, his movement was effective. He wasn't running, he was turning him, which what you're supposed to do. He kept it in the center of the ring for the most part, for majority of the rounds. He landed the right hand effectively. He effectively went to the body with combinations, and his jab was the best thing in the fight. The most consistent, the most dominant thing in the fight was his jab. Now, did De La Hoya fight like a champion in the last 3 rounds? No, he didn't. I didn't like the fact that that's when he was running. He was running in the last 3 rounds. He was no longer boxing because he thought he had the fight wrapped up. But even doing that, I gave Trinidad the first round, and then I didn't get Trinidad a round to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I didn't get Trinidad another round to the 10th, 11th, and the 12th. I gave Trinidad the first round, 10th, 11th, and 12th. That's only 4. I gave Oscar 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I just thought he just dominated the fight, man. I mean, he was a better fighter. He looked like the better fighter to the eye when I was looking at the fight. Like, sometimes you don't even have to score the fight. You can look at the fight and be like, man, this guy's just better. He was performing better that night. Trinidad did some things strategically wrong, which I pointed out. Not cutting off the ring effectively. Not going to De La Hoya's body. And that's proof that he didn't go to the man's body, because he moved the same way he moved in round 1. He was able to do it in round 12. You can't have a guy, if you doing what you're supposed to do, the guy can't be moving like that. I mean, at some point, if you'd have put, some deposits in the body, he should have slowed down. And you should have been able to get De La Hoya to fight your fight, at least in the second half of the fight. But, like I said, I'm going to leave it up to y'all. Tell me who won the fight and why you think they won the fight. Don't just say you thought this guy, De La Hoya, won because he's your favorite fighter. Don't say Trinidad won because he's your favorite fighter. Tell me why the guy won. And if you didn't see the fight, go back and see the fight. This is Boxing Talk 8576. I'm out.